What's up, guys? You are listening to The Lifestyle Hub, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes into the lives of inspiring individuals to not only educate you, but unlock your true potential to live a more active and fulfilling life. I'm your host, Victoria. Now let's get this show on the road. Smashed it. Smashed it.
Amazing. I couldn't have done that better. That was great. Before we get started, guys, I'd like to thank our sponsors at Ghana Fitness Supplies, the leading home gym commercial specialist in the Middle East. You can check out all of their phenomenal top-of-the-line equipment at www.ghana.ae for any of your fitness needs. Alrighty, guys. Well, obviously you've assumed that I am joined by Miss Victoria. Welcome.
Thank you.
Who did an absolutely smashing job of the introduction there. So something a little bit different. Obviously a fan of the podcast, it seems.
I mean, major fan.
So obviously, for those that don't know, Vic's obviously an integral part of the operations of the podcast. So it's always great to invite her on to see how the masters work, really. So thanks for coming in. Issa and I keep busy and paying the bills, and it's good to have you here. So, guys, today's episode, we're going to touch on, it's the interim episodes between and always a little bit more fun. We're going to talk about, issues, unspoken topics, ins and outs of being in a relationship, or what you and your partner might experience, may not talk about. I put a poll on Instagram earlier today about any sort of questions, not necessarily directed at us, even though some are, but just topics in particular that you in a relationship might be facing, might have thought about, might not have mentioned to your partner, something that previous relationships you might have thought about, or even just something you at home on your own for now thought about and wanted to know a bit more information. So that's what today's about. You excited for this one, Vic?
Yeah, can't wait.
Are you actually excited?
Get thrown under the bus, I'm sure. But
No, today's not about throwing anyone under the bus. I think for both of us, we should be thrown under the bus a little bit because we're not perfect. And that's the biggest thing to think about with any relationship. It isn't perfect, guys. And when I've had a few of the questions I've seen today is people kind of wanting to know a bit more information about how do you deal with this and how do you deal with that and how do you make compromise here and there? I mean, ultimately, no relationship's perfect. No person's perfect. Don't you agree?
Yeah, that's true.
Wrong answer. I'm perfect. That's what you meant to say. So, Vic, talk to me.
What do you want to know?
Repeat after me. I, Victoria, take J. I'm kidding. Well, I thought we'd do a quick proposal on air. Gets that out of the way. I'm just making you extremely uncomfortable today. So, guys, we're going to dive into some of the questions that we were thrown on Instagram today. I did put an anonymous filter on as well. That was interesting. Obviously, people could send in questions and not actually reveal their identity. So I'm going to kind of go through a few of those. Vic and I will kind of both answer the questions and we'll see how we go. So I'm going to kick off one with a little bit of controversy. What are the three most annoying or frustrating things that your partner does? Let's list them, and then we can maybe discuss ways to go about rectifying those. So I'll let you kick it off.
3 annoying things about you?
Yes.
Well, number 1.
Okay.
It's quite easy for me. No, I'm joking. It's not. It's actually quite hard because you're not perfect, but you're close.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm blushing.
I'm sure anyone that knows you knows that you will literally be late for your own funeral. Your timekeeping is the most frustrating thing on the planet. You're late.
Examples.
You are late for everything, including work, personal life. No matter how important it is, you will always get there late. A prime example is on Saturday, we were going out to the beach with some of your friends. We discussed together behind your back that we were going to go an hour and a half earlier than we actually planned, and you still managed to be late by 2 hours.
We weren't late by 2 hours. I mean, to the unofficial time.
To the unofficial time.
Yeah,
we were 2 hours late.
I knew that was a load of shit. Who goes to the beach at 10 a.m., mate?
This is what we have to tell you to get you there on time.
I know.
So.
It is something every year when the clock strikes 12 at midnight. I'm like, this year I will be punctual. I was late to my own 21st, which was actually hosted in my own house. So I don't know how that happened. Literally, there was like probably 30 guests there. And I was about an hour in and was like, anyone seen Jace yet? And I'm like, I'm still doing my hair. I'll be down in a sec. You know what it is?
You take longer to get ready than me.
No, that's not it. It's my time management is poor up until, and I give myself less time than I think. I like to think that we've got enough time. And remember, a famous man once said, a wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. That's quote Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. And that's how I basically aspire to live my life by, those kind of rules. All right, so that's number one. What's number two?
Number two would be you never clean the kitchen worktops whenever you've eaten. So
that's what the answer for.
I'll like clean
that was the most awkward laugh that you were like, I hate you.
Because I've literally told you a million times. I clean the kitchen in the daytime. Jason comes home. Bear in mind, we have a meal prep company now.
Yeah, Fit Meals, shout out. Love you guys.
Yeah, but Jason still likes to cook extra food in the night. But then he doesn't think he needs to wash up or clean up because he has a long day at work. So we've now finally got him loading the dishwasher, which is a good thing.
I never had a dishwasher before, so that's a new experience.
It is the best thing in life.
I used to use plastic plates. I used
you
plastic plates and cups before. I used to just toss them. That was easier.
Wow, that's the bachelor life.
Yeah, the good old days.
So yeah, you finally load the dishwasher, but you never clean the sides. And I come down in the morning and there is bits all over the sides. I don't even know where it's come from, but that would be number two.
So number two, not cleaning up the crumbs.
The crumbs, yes, that is it.
And then the third one, why you're outing me, just finish it strong.
The third one would be...
I think I know what that should be, but go.
Does it have involved with the toilet?
Yeah, go on then. This I can handle it. I'm a big boy.
The amount of time you spend in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I don't know anyone on this planet that can go to the toilet for 30 to 45 minutes. So like, I don't know what you're doing in there for that long. Sometimes I think you're going in there just to escape me.
Well, I mean, there's been times you're like, where are you? And I was like, just gone for a run. Because it's actually easier to just convince Vic that I've gone for a run.
Yeah, you've literally been in there for that long that I'm like, where are you? So I WhatsApp you because I don't know where you are. But like, what do you do in there for all that time?
Look, that's where my best work is created.
Do other people do this? I've never known anyone to spend that much time
99%
in
of
the
males
toilet.
Do this.
But why?
Fact, I'll put a poll up.
You can't be going to the toilet.
Issa,
for
do you
that
do
time.
this? Do you spend like time in the bathroom? He spends hours, mate.
What?
Because I feel like it's a time
of so weird.
It's times of reflection.
But you're just like on the toilet, just festering in your own.
No, sometimes I'll even flush.
Feces.
No, sometimes I'll flush and sit back down and go, fuck, it's so peaceful in here. You know, I'll open the window, I'll spray a bit of the perfume. All of a sudden, it becomes a very happy place.
Maybe I made the bathroom too cozy.
Yeah, the bathroom is very nice at our place. And honestly, I enjoy just that peaceful, quiet time. So, but I know it does annoy you. And sometimes I think that might also contribute to the fact that I'm behind schedule.
Definitely. Like sometimes when we're running out the door, you'll be like, I just need to go to this toilet. This happened the other day. I can't remember where we were going, but you'd come in. I think we were going when we went on the boat last week.
Yeah.
You came into the house and we were supposed to leave straight away.
Yeah, but
you're
no
like,
one
I'm
wants
just
to
going
go
to the bathroom. And I was like, oh, well, here we go. Another 45 minutes.
Yeah, but who wants to go onto a luxury yacht? Shout out to Yacht Brothers. And just, you know, drop the kids off in the downstairs premium
But then
facilities.
that just makes us late. So I think, like you said, it's a vicious circle.
Okay.
You need to start managing your toilet time.
All right. So there you go. You can see that I'm not perfect, guys. This is what we're trying to show from this. We're outing each other. There's things that obviously give Vic a bit of a hard time. Now it's my turn. Let me think.
Can't wait.
I actually didn't pre-think of this because I thought it would come easily, but now I'm struggling.
I mean,
3 things
that just means that I'm
annoy
pretty
me.
perfect, surely.
I would say, God, that's actually, I'm not even being like this. I'm trying to literally think. Now's my chance to throw you under the bus. Okay, getting dressed and taking forever to get dressed, I guess that's just a typical, I'm going to say female and stereotype that problem. So literally you'll be like, all right, well, we're going out at 8, so it's 5 p.m., but I better start getting ready. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just do all the other things up until then, while you've just suddenly blocked your calendar for 3 hours, but all the walking, the cooking, the cleaning, this, that, and the other all falls to me for those 3 hours.
Wait, sorry. When was the last time you cleaned this house?
Okay. Our maid's amazing. But no. Okay, so that would be a stretch. I'd have to pull it at that. The second one would be you talking to me with headphones on when I'm trying to train. Nothing's more annoying than I'm trying to train. Vic's got these big Apple headphones on, and she's literally like looking at me, and then she'll talk to me, and I'll take my headphone out going, all right, what is it? Then I'll talk, and then I don't know if she's listening or not because her headphones are on. So she doesn't even like lift it off to go, oh, I can hear you. Yeah, like polite. She just looks at you with them on. And I'm like...
That's because these Apple headphones have this feature. You press a button and you can hear everything outside.
Yeah, but still.
It's very high tech these days.
Yeah, but it doesn't... Anyway, that does my head in. I'm always like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to put my headphones back in. I'm done with that. So that's the second one where I get short. Where else do I get short? Well, where do you think you annoy me?
I mean, I don't. I think I'm... pretty awesome.
No, to be fair, you do a lot. You're very you pick up a lot of my pieces. I'll give you that. You definitely make my life easier, not harder. And I think that wouldn't be the case with like a lot of people. Unfortunately, some people probably make each other's lives a little bit harder, and that's where you've got to try and find the right compromises. I'm gonna move on. I don't think there is anything that really does my head in. You're obviously amazing with the dogs. There's a lot of perks that you do. So
can we just highlight this question? Whoever wrote it in, I think it was anonymous, but they're clearly a Scouser for how it's worded.
No, they're not a Scouser. They are from the UK.
Really?
Mate of mine from the gym, but I don't actually know the location, but we'll find out.
Yeah, just the way that it's worded.
Spelt. Love to see ye telling each other how do you annoy each other. I always do that with me missus.
Yeah, that sounds like such a Scouse thing
to say.
That's
a Scouse thing to say. There you go. So we're going to move to the next question, guys. And this is another debate that's frequenting our household at the moment. Is it an issue in yours? Favorite TV show? Someone's asked that. What's our favorite TV show? Vic?
I don't know.
I mean, you kind of
do the one with Pedro Pascal. What's that one called? What was that called?
Anything with Pedro Pascal is good. Anything with Pedro Pascal.
I would say that was probably our favorite one. We
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Yeah, we really got into The Last of Us.
We got really into that. Like, we were waiting for every episode to come out.
Yeah, that was sick. So,
but
obviously,
it's finished. We're not watching anything currently.
Yeah, we're not really watching anything currently for those who asked that one. But basically, it leads me to a point that I
I tell a lie. We're watching Love is Blind.
No, we're not. We are definitely not. So Vic will cycle through all of your top 10 reality shows and talk with everyone. Go, oh, I saw this, I saw that, blah, blah, blah. Reality TV show there. I hate reality TV. I can't stand it, okay? On the other side of that fence, I'll sit and watch Lord of the Rings for the 50th time, gladly. Now, the debate that we have in our house at the minute is Vic will be down chilling on the couch and Love is Blind is on. And I'm cool with that. I'm totally okay with that being on the TV. Not a problem, right?
Well,
no.
I would not.
I'd
say that's a stretch.
No, that's not a stretch. How it goes is I'm totally fine with it being on the TV. So I'll sit up on the table and I'm like, babe, keep it on, no stress. I'm just going to eat dinner up here and do some work. So I'm on my laptop, I'm on my phone, whatever. I'm doing preoccupied. I'll put my headphones in sometimes because I just hate listening to. I don't like my head is a temple. I like to positive vibes. That's all drama. I don't have time for that. So I put my headphones in. I'll listen to some music, listen to a podcast, whatever it is. And Vic will be like, oh, why are you sitting up there? You're not spending time with me. Come down to the couch. I'm like, all right, I'll come down to the couch. So I'm sitting on the couch, hand on the leg, and I'm just flicking through my phone, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, but you're always on your phone. And I'm like, well, I don't want to watch the show. And she's like, well, you put what you want on. So I'm like, okay, that's nice of her. Obviously a nice compromise, but not one that I forced. I'm okay. I'm very happy to be sitting next to her, doing my work, and not engaging in the bullshit that's on the TV. What'll happen then is I'll put something on, probably X-Men. Great films, by the way. We just recently watched those. Hugh Jackman, he's making the comeback next year. Oh, incredible. Anyway, I fall asleep naturally because I'm up at 4:30 and I'm just, doing all the hard yards. And I fall asleep. So Vic ends up, obviously, doesn't get frustrated with me. That's one thing I do love. You've never been angry that I've fallen asleep in that sense because you know that I'm tired. But obviously, from a companionship perspective, you end up just watching the movie alone and wake me up at midnight being like, oh, let's go to bed. And I'm like, shit. I see the credits rolling down the screen. I'm like, oh, how was it? Like, yeah, it was good. And then obviously we have the problem with the next night when we watch the sequel. I'm like, oh, well, what happened in the last one? So that's our debacle. But Vic, your impression of that, right, is that I should, because you are so open to watching films that I want to watch, I should be open to sitting and watching the reality TV.
Yeah.
Why?
Just because, it's something I don't watch that much reality TV, to be fair. But whenever I do,
Bullshit.
Really? Not
Yeah.
really.
I
I
mean,
don't watch that much.
you do like
I
it.
don't watch like Love Island and all of them. I watch the odd one on Netflix. But I just think like if I'm willing to watch something that like I've never watched X-Men until you made me. I've never watched Lord of the Rings
I
until
didn't
you made me.
make you. Oh,
And
you
it
just said
wasn't-
pick something, so I was like, all right.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind watching it because you like it. But then
I mean, you like it now.
I don't know, like, is this a thing for other people? We've spoken to some of our friends about this and they said that it's the same for them. Like, should men watch reality TV with their girlfriends or wives, whatever they...
Is that bonding time? That's our question to the gram.
It's not really bonding time, I guess, in a sense, but then is watching X-Men bonding time?
Yeah.
Not really.
I mean, it is.
It's just something... No,
you
it's
got to know
not.
the whole crew. We've got Logan.
No,
we've
we're not.
got Scott. We've got Storm. We've got Jean. There's Professor X, Magneto, Caliban. Do you want to list a few?
Is this a podcast about the X-Men?
No. We're not taking royalties. So, guys, you get the debate. We're gonna make this into a reel. Let us know what your thoughts are. Give us some votes and give me some feedback. Give me some backup.
I mean...
I can't be the only... Surely there's no blokes out there that
I
like
just
watching
think,
reality
like,
TV.
if a woman is prepared to watch maybe something on TV that she doesn't want to watch, but it's going to keep her man happy, why should the men not do it as well?
Issa?
For anyone that didn't hear, Issa said, because we're men.
So, I mean, yeah, like, okay.
But also,
I'd like to hear
also
everyone
to
else's
add to
view on
that,
this.
like you already owned up to, you literally put the film on, and within 5 minutes, you're asleep. So I watched the whole movie. You come over, switch off when I'm watching, put a movie on that you chose, fall asleep, and then, like you said, wake up at the credits.
Yeah.
So, and then the next day, you want to rewatch it from the day before.
Yeah, true.
Like, if you're going to come and fall asleep anyway, why not just endure like 5-10 minutes of the show?
Oh, it does my
Because
head
just to point out one thing as well that you do, that you don't admit to what you do.
Okay.
You pretend that you're not watching, and then you'll be like, oh, wait, is she back with him? Oh,
I'm
what, they split up?
No, that's bullshit.
That
It's a
isn't-
joke.
That, I swear to God, that is the God's honest truth. You get into it, but you just pretend that you don't, and you figure out like who's dating who and who's argued with who, and then you'll like ask me when I'm watching it, oh, did this happen? But I thought she was with him, or and I'm like, I thought you didn't like this.
All right, well, blasphemy. I don't know. Anyway, guys, give us your feedback
Anyway,
on this. This is
that
obviously...
a thing for everyone? Or?
Yeah, this is a thing, obviously, I would imagine that couples probably face, is this you? Do you back me or Vic in this situation? Our next question obviously went over the topic of kids. Will we have kids? I think was the question was in particular. I think that's a question that a lot of couples should probably ask each other at some point in the earlier stages of relationships, whether they're both prepared to go down that road at some stage. I mean, we were quite open with the fact that that was something that I've always wanted to do. You were the same.
Yeah.
So I think when you iron that out or have that conversation, it does make like those future plans flow a lot nicer because you kind of like have like this subconscious, not commitment to each other, but it like...
Yeah, but it makes a difference. Like if you're with someone for so many years and then down the line you find out they don't have the same end goal as you.
That's right.
And you've just wasted all your time. Like having the same end goal is so important in
That's
a relationship.
right. And I think that communication aspect, and that's like, I mean, that's what we're doing now. We'll do this off.
But is it like, for example, one of my close friends maybe was dating someone, not currently, but the previous person, whenever she would bring up the question about, do you want kids? Like, do you see yourself getting married? It would be seen as a bad thing. So I think it goes like in different ways. Like some people are open to it. Like we were quite happy to chat about it early on, but then some people are like, oh my God, no, it's too soon. I can't talk about this. Why is she asking if I want kids? Like, but maybe they just want to see if they're on the same page. Like,
I think there's a time and place because a lot of females will typically ask, like, look, we'll talk about past experiences. I think it's important for us to also acknowledge past experiences. But I've been with someone at some point where I've gone for a few coffees. And then like, oh yeah, it'd be good to have like kids. And you're like, oh yeah, what, just after dessert or when are we doing that? Like, I've only met you for 2 days. You know, there's a time and place.
I don't mean that.
Because sometimes some guys, maybe girls, because it could go, again, both ways. If you've got to kind of like scan that kind of relationship setting, I think Vic and I are both at a stage where we are open to a more serious relationship. We obviously live together. So having kids is something that is in both of our plans, and it's just kind of a matter of when more than if.
Yeah.
Inshallah, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's obviously, and it's not as simple as that sometimes. A lot of people, it's a bit more of a process to have kids. Like a lot of people, these days have to go through sort of different fertility treatments, go through all the testing, certain programs. There's a lot of different things out there. So it's sometimes not as simple as saying, will we have kids? That's just kind of the first question, and then you go down that path.
Yeah. But I think men need to understand as well, like women don't have all the years on the clock that they think they do. Look how many people are getting fertility treatments now. So women in their 30s, like in Dubai, people end up dating quite later in life.
Yeah.
If people are in their 30s and they're asking like if you're interested in kids, they're probably not trying to rush you into it, but it is a question they need to know because they can't wait another 10 years.
Yeah.
Because then they might be able to never have them. Whereas like for men, they can have kids up until whenever they want.
Yeah.
But it's just not that easy for women. It's things they need to think about. Maybe they have health issues, which means they need to have children earlier. Like it might be harder for them to get pregnant. I don't know. I think men should be. But yeah, I agree. After 2 days, you shouldn't be asking. But if you're like in a like semi-serious relationship, I think it's a normal question to ask because why should people waste their time if they're not going to be on the same path?
That's right. Committing a lot of hours and a lot of time and effort to each other, so it's very important you're on the same path. I know cases in the past where somebody's gone down a relationship with somebody for quite a long time and then turned out they weren't really on the same page. And then I'm not going to say it was all for nothing, but like there was probably a point where the actual love, spark, connection wore off and you just became good mates and you just kept living together out of convenience, potentially splitting the rent, et cetera, et cetera. So you've got to kind of just iron that out. So that was a good question. But hopefully one day, of course, we will love to go down that road. Beth mentioned obviously the time. So Beth, one of Vic's friends, a friend of ours, we were out for dinner a little while back when they were here in Dubai and her husband now, Robbie. And I'd mentioned and dug a pretty big hole for myself saying that Vic looks like a weasel when she gets out of the shower. Okay. Beth's just brought this up to throw me back under the bus. But guys.
Thanks, Beth.
When your hair's wet, you look cute, but you're a little bit like, like an otter that's just come out of the water because it's just like no makeup, like hair back.
You just keep digging that hole, don't you?
I'm digging it live on the app. So I thought I'd bring it up just to re-dig my grave there. Do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, I don't really know how to take it, to be honest.
It's a compliment. Otters are cute.
Yeah, but now you're saying an otter. Before you called me a weasel.
Yeah, they're similar. They're both part of the rodent family, I believe. Can we check that? Can we fact check that, Isa?
So I look like a rodent?
No. Oh, yeah. All right, let's move on.
I mean...
Next question.
Wait, sorry. How would you feel as a woman if your partner said you looked like a weasel? Let us know in the comments because I'm interested to know.
Well, I've just got plenty of unfollows. It's a
good job I've got a good sense of humor.
Different breeds?
Oh, weasels are not part of the rodent
What
family.
Are they? What's it? Probably a mammal. Marsupial, maybe. I don't know. I do know animals normally, but yeah, not them. All right. Well, we'll come back to you with that on that. But
anyway,
thanks, Beth.
Great question, Beth.
Thank you, Beth. That was great. Do I speak another language? Yes. I mean, would I say do I speak?
Give us an example.
I would say I can understand fluently.
Say it in the language.
Befam kil shi bil Arabi. Isa, does that check out? Yeah. So Isa's obviously Emirati, and my Arabic does not check out. Vic, what do you speak?
I speak fluent English.
And
English.
And one other language.
I don't speak any other languages.
You do. It's called Scouser.
You right, mate? Yeah, mate. You right, mate? Oh, yeah, mate. Oh, come on, lad. Come on, mate.
For any English people that would know this, it is like a different language.
It is, because when I was there, I was struggling to understand some of the locals. That you don't speak an actual legitimate another language.
I mean, I'm not Scouse. I'm
That's
just
true.
from close by. But yeah, when I am with Scousers or people from back home, I maybe get a little bit more Scouse.
Yeah.
But I've lived here for so long, I've just like toned down my
You've
accent.
got the Dubai
because
accent.
nobody could understand me.
So we'll relate that question back to the topic. Probably important to speak the same language as your partner, I'd imagine. Just let's relate it to today's topic. If you don't, Google Translate or start to learn each other's language. Do you think it's important that if your partner speaks another language or is part of another culture, that you embrace that, obviously, being in a relationship?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
If you spoke like fluent Arabic all the time, I would learn it. I've learned bits over time. I've worked with Emiratis since I've lived here. Like,
Yeah.
I have like picked up a bit of Arabic, but
What do you know? What's that? Give us something.
no, I'm not that brave.
Say wada anab.
Wada anab.
No, what do you normally say it?
That's how I say
I'm
it.
pretty sure it's like warak anab. Yeah, because you read it how it's written.
No, I don't.
My
That's
mate
how
back
I
home
say
calls
it.
lambangine. Too funny. Anyway, but yeah, it is important that you embrace obviously your partner's culture. I think it's something that you should obviously be very proud of, because ultimately, if you do go down the line of kids, your kids will be a combination, and obviously your families will intertwine. So it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
That's that question. Which I'm trying to relate the questions to this topic, guys, so you can kind of see where I'm pulling this. How can you be sure he or she is the one? Vic? How can you be sure?
I mean, can you be sure?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you can.
I think you can. There's a fine line in knowing if someone could be the one.
Yeah.
But I don't think you ever know. People can change. People can be together like 20 years, and then all of a sudden, overnight, something changes. They get divorced. Maybe they have kids. I don't know. You know, people can change. I've seen it in close friends of mine, how people can just change into a completely different person.
Yeah, I agree.
But also, I would say there's like a different feeling that you get when you feel like you're with the right person, which I can say.
Like what?
You just feel like happy.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I feel like I used to go through life like so stressed, like never really know where I was going to end up. And then like all of a sudden, after like we'd been together like a fair amount of time, I just didn't care anymore. Like what happened, like, I just always thought, like, I don't know. I just had like
a bit of a
sense
knight in shining armor situation.
No, like a sense of like security, maybe. Like if someone gives you a sense of security, that's probably a pretty good sign that they potentially could be the one.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't make you feel secure, like not necessarily like financially, but like emotionally, financially.
Well.
No, you know what I mean?
No, I
like,
get you.
It doesn't have to be financial or emotional, or it has to be all of those things. Like if you feel secure, you will feel a different way.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't matter what else happens outside of your relationship, because you have such like a strong unit at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. That's totally so true.
But then, like I said, that can always change.
It can always change. I think the best thing for people is just to not keep your guard up, but just to not put that kind of pressure on it. Like I would say just go with the flow. Go with the motions. Like I think it is nice to know that person, you would want that person to be a more permanent feature in your life and become that special other half. But I definitely think, don't put that expectation or pressure on things. So let's just take it as it goes. That's my personal approach.
I firmly believe in the when you know. Like 100%.
And when you know, yes means no, and no means.
This is not the right show for that,
not
Jason.
The right show. This isn't the Howard Stern show.
It's not OnlyFans. It's.
But it could be. Dial in, send in $7.99, and we will come back without clothes on for the next episode.
That is not true. But on a funny note, I got an inbox on Instagram like 2 days ago.
I'm happy about this.
And it was somebody messaged me from like a talent agency which just specializes in OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Asking me if I was interested in setting up an account, and they will manage everything for me and blah, 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 and all the opportunities that will give me. And it was a legit account. They had like 40,000 followers or something like it was pretty legit.
Obviously, you're not signing up for that.
Yeah, obviously. But it's just like, it's just funny to see that like people.
That's the thing now. You can put that on your CV, OnlyFans. Superstar.
Yeah. What do people think about OnlyFans?
I don't know. Someone's at the door though. Maybe they'll tell us. Someone is knocking at the door. I think it's the dogs. The dogs been at daycare today, and I think they are just on the way home now. So, guys, we're going to move into the next one. Obviously, we covered that question. That was a great question. Thank you for sending that in. The next one is how to keep the spark in a relationship. I think that's very important, don't you think? How do we keep the spark?
I'll let you go first on that one.
It's basically a 22-inch pink vibrating. I'm trying to backtrack. Hey, dogs. Good timing. Hey, guys. Oh, they've just been at daycare. They're so cute and fluffy. Hey. All right. So, guys, the best way to keep the spark, besides of what I was insinuating before, is I think trying to be, what's the word? Not sporadic, but like, what's that word? What's the word for just being spontaneous? That's the word I'm after, being spontaneous. I think that's a really like important thing to do when you're in a relationship, is just to be spontaneous, do things that your partner might not be expecting, do things that they like. I think that's always like a really special thing. What do you think?
Yeah. Sorry, I got sidetracked then. Can you repeat yourself?
I thought women were meant to multitask. I thought that was the thing. Obviously, the dogs are here, so Vic's just trying to compose herself.
Yeah. Sorry, go again?
How to keep the spark in the relationship.
Yeah. Remind me what you said. You're going to have to...
I said a 22-inch. It's pink.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. But no, I think obviously from a relationship perspective, you need to obviously keep an eye on obviously the intimacy. That was another question because, I think the intimacy is obviously a very important way to keep that spark up, the sexual attraction. I think the physical and visual attraction, that mental attraction, all of those things intertwine into one that help keep that spark alive. I think I've often worked with people in different relationships. Not for their relationships, but I've worked with couples, and when people let themselves go and they're low on confidence and they're not really in their best space, it can definitely put a bit of, not pressure. I mean, both partners can be supportive, but a lot of people sometimes, whether they admit it or not, are like subconsciously like a little less attracted to that person that
100%.
person's become, right?
Yeah,
Wouldn't you agree?
100%. Not being attracted to the person that you're with will definitely affect your intimacy.
Yeah, well, and your spark.
Yeah.
Because there's multiple levels of that you can be attracted. Someone can get out of, like, maybe you met them in a certain condition, they got out of shape, whatever that might look like, and now from a physical standpoint, you're not as attracted. I think for me, that's a very important one, because not being shallow, but like, I take pride in how I look. Check back in on me in 40 years, but I will always look good. Like, or what I mean by that, without saying arrogant, is I'll do what I feel looks good to make myself feel good.
Yeah, everyone's like assumption of
is
like,
good. However, that's
like
right.
how
It's different.
you feel makes a difference.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely.
The next one's obviously mental. Like, how sound is your mind, your headspace? Are you anxious all the time? Are you closed off? Do you communicate? Are you confident in yourself? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Pride with your work and things that you do, showing pride in what you do.
Yeah, like
that's an attractive
showing
thing.
some sort of like, what's the word? Like aspiration to do something
ambition.
with yourself. Like, ambition.
Yeah.
If you're just like someone that stays at home, sitting on the couch all day, like not taking a shower, that's not attractive. Maybe not necessarily physical attraction, but like that's not attractive.
Like habits and...
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think those little things is help what makes the spark. Like, it's like even getting dressed up, going on a night out together, and your partner takes the effort to look good, wear something nice, like a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of Victoria's Secret this, a bit of that, like do some things. You're going to have to go to conscious efforts. Like, I got the Borat mankini, and Vic has never looked back. That's a joke. Don't picture me in that, by the way. If you're already picturing that,
I'll share a picture of it on my stories.
High five. Anyway, so the spark is essential. Okay, it's definitely something that should be in there, and I think it requires effort. I think the answer is effort.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Yeah,
just put some effort in, mate. And
you need to set aside time. Like, we have like date night every week, like always.
I think if you don't put the effort in, it means you don't care, and if you don't care, you're probably not in that relationship for the right reason. And I would say the love that you might claim for that person might not be legitimate or genuine. Yeah.
And I think the longer that you're together, I mean, we're not like in a long-term relationship. Wait, is that the word?
Yeah, we're not. No, we haven't been
together for years and years.
New,
it's still fairly fresh, but I guess like down the line, I mean, even from like when you first get in a relationship to like a year later, it changes. People get more comfortable. You don't feel the need to have to, some people might not feel the need to have to like go
Yeah.
all out every day.
Yeah, true.
Whereas like when you're first in a relationship, like you always shave your legs and you always like make an effort to look at your best. But once you move in together, you know,
Shave my ears, my nostrils.
once you move in together, you know, people just get comfortable with each other, and it's just important to like make the effort still.
Yeah,
no
make
matter
it-
how long you've been together, if you don't make an effort,
Agreed. It's
Like,
unattractive, people.
it is unattractive. And if you're not attracted to someone, you won't have the same intimacy as what you had
Yeah,
when you first
and
met.
when Brad Pitt walks past, because he will, you can't almost blame that person for their eyes to wander. Like, as much as I don't want to say it in that sense, I'm not
what
saying.
you mean if their partners like let themselves
Yeah,
go?
if your
Or
partner's
just
let
in
yourself.
general?
No, if your partner. I mean, if Brad Pitt walks past you tomorrow and you said, I'm going left, I'd be like, yeah, I'm coming. Like, now and later, if you know what I mean. Because Brad Pitt's Brad Pitt. But no, what I'm getting at here is if you let yourself go, it's a tricky one, and it's controversial. I'm not going to say it's happened to me, but obviously after the few episodes back when I talk about the divorce situation, I'm trying to think like I would almost not be so harsh on somebody for looking left if the person on their right has just totally let themselves go. I don't think that should be the first thing to happen. I think some support is essential. And you need to say, hey, look, let's get you back on track. What can I do? What can I help? Support. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking years, like if you love somebody, don't expect them to be better overnight. Support that person.
Yeah.
But if we're talking, and this is aside from any sort of mental conditions that are diagnosed, because that's a different procedure. But I think if it's just purely like laziness and like lack of care and, you know, lack of self-will and desire, it's very hard to try and then go, well, fuck, like you're not making any effort to make yourself better. I'm doing everything I can to get you.
Yeah.
Like someone over there has come over to me and is appreciating me. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not saying that's okay, guys. That's not what I'm trying to say. Do you get
Yeah.
me? Do you get what I'm saying?
I did until you said, oh, if someone over there is appreciating me, because I don't believe in that at all. I believe in like intimacy. Yeah, you can like lose your intimacy, but I don't think that makes it okay to go and get attention elsewhere now. And you should be the biggest advocate against that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been through that on the rough end of that sword.
Yeah.
Like it's literally been
But I
happened
think
to
also
me.
it comes down to like understanding your partner's love language as well.
Yeah.
Like that makes a big difference in
What's my
like,
love language?
I would say you can do the test online to find out your love language. Like just go into Google and you can find them.
Lovelanguage.com.
I don't know if that's the website, but
Okay.
yeah, there is loads of websites that you can do it on. Honestly, it's so important to understand your partner's love language because then you just understand what they need from you. Everyone has needs and expectations.
Yeah.
And as their partner, it's your responsibility to meet them
Yeah.
or to compromise to be able to meet them. So, for example, your love language, I'm sure, would be physical touch. Is it physical touch, I think? Yeah, physical touch. Like, you just, like, need to be touched all the time. Not, like, in a rude way. Like, but you
There's
feel...
nothing rude about it.
No, but I feel like that's what makes you feel more secure is, like, being cuddled and kissed and, like, that's what makes you, like, feel loved.
Obviously, I'm the big spoon, just before anyone thinks that. Actually, you did, I'm sometimes little spoon.
Yeah, you are more the little spoon than the
I
big
do
spoon.
like a little snug.
Yeah, I think that. And then also, you would probably be words of affirmation as well. Because
Yeah.
you like to hear that you're loved. So,
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
physically and... Whereas my love language isn't physical touch. So that's where we have to work together. This is why I'm saying it's important to understand because we both have different love languages. Mine would be like words of affirmation and acts of service. So, for example...
Gifts.
No, gift giving is another one. That's a
Okay.
different one. That was
Yeah,
my
you're
third.
not big on that. Your third, yeah.
And gifts doesn't mean expensive gifts. Gifts
Thoughtful
means
gifts.
like you were in the petrol station and you were getting yourself a chocolate bar and then you bought me my favorite chocolate bar and brought it home for me. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be an expensive gift. It's
Yeah, I agree
small.
with that.
It's small things that mean something. To me, it's more meaningful.
Yeah.
But that's probably like my third one. My main ones is words of affirmation and acts of service. So for example, cleaning the kitchen.
Yeah.
That would mean something to me because I feel like you've listened to what something that's bothered me.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that's why I think it's like super important.
It definitely plays a part. So
Yeah.
love languages, guys. If you want to know what your partner's love language, do the test online.
Yeah, and then
Figure it out.
you'll be able to understand like what they need from you,
I
and
think that's a
you
good
can
one.
meet each other's expectations.
Yeah.
And if you're like happy and if your expectations are met, your intimacy is going to be good because
That's right.
you're going to feel like they understand you, they're there for you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. So check that out. That definitely, I think,
We should do the test for you later.
we can do the test for me later. So
Yeah.
balance.
But I'm pretty sure physical touch would be the main one.
Yeah, I definitely like that. So balance and responsibility in a relationship. Someone asked this question. They'd mentioned that both individuals aren't the same. How should a man treat his woman? So I didn't quite exactly understand the angle that was going for. But yeah, there is definitely an essential areas of balance. There's essential areas of responsibility. That might be like house responsibilities, job responsibilities, just daily responsibilities with each other, being able to rely on each other for different things, and obviously trust each other is a huge one. Balancing my lifestyle, your lifestyle, my goals, your goals,
Yeah.
my friends, your friends, like stuff like that, that we're like our lives are intertwining opposed to being one-sided. I think super important.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
What did it ask at the end?
It said, how should a man treat his woman? I mean, I think I'm a bit more...
This is a tricky one, especially the country that we're living in.
Yeah, I'm a bit more
because
chivalrous, I would say. Because my dad was like that with my mom.
I have friends that like expect men to do everything for them financially, and they should not work. Which, if you're in that position, amazing. But like, is it right to expect a man to pay for everything for you? Or
Definitely not.
Like, should it be 50-50? I don't know. Everyone is different. I know people on both ends that think, no, everything should be 50-50. Like, some people think that men should pay for everything and men should provide for women. I understand where that's come from, but I don't know. What do you think on that?
Society has gotten more challenging to live in from a cost perspective. Things are going up. Times are expensive. People want a certain level of luxury. I train men who are under pressure for having to provide as the sole money earner in the household for a wife, a nanny, kids, a car, the business, etc. And I can see that wearing down on that person. Some might take that home, and that might reflect in bad moods, bad energy, low intimacy, pressure, stress.
Yeah.
Some will try and hide it, and maybe they let it out when they're with me, like, fuck, the missus is spending again.
Yeah.
And then they're struggling. I don't think society allows for that kind of pressure because I just think the world's getting so expensive. So I think if you can help out, it makes sense. Then there's the topic of like, are you at home to look after the kids? That's a different thing because there's levels of responsibility there. You can also manage some sort of a side hustle of some kind. Obviously, looking after kids is quite taxing and demanding. So
yeah, if you have kids, I think it's a different story, especially for the first couple of years.
Yeah. It's also great on their development.
So I'm not talking about like if you have kids because a woman physically cannot work right after she's had. I mean, some do. Right. Don't get me wrong. They're like super mums. I know quite a few people that do that, but then also it can go the other way because women can be the breadwinner.
That's right, and I think that can be totally fine.
We were watching a show last week, How to Get Rich.
How to Get Rich. It's trending.
And and one of the women on it was the breadwinner, and the man was a stay-at-home dad, and he was like saying how like low it makes him feel, like he doesn't feel respected.
That's a self-confidence issue, I think.
Well, then like he had to ask her for everything, which I'm sure is what women go through as well.
Yeah.
He had to ask her for any little amount that she would spend in, and she would say, "Well, I want to control the spending." So I just think
that brings us to another good question, which is financials.
Yeah.
Something that we're starting to integrate slightly in the sense that we're trying to open up communications.
Yeah.
We're both a bit of spenders. I don't know. I don't spend on stupid shit. Like, what I mean by that is I don't go and buy 50 things from the shop, like clothes, and I go, oh, there's all my money gone. It's kind of like I don't know where it goes. I've not been very good at tracking it in the past. Obviously, I'm very busy at work, so, I'm keeping busy and I'm working hard for it. But, we've had to communicate lately about kind of working together as a team and focusing on some of Vic's strong points to help me and me some of my strong points to help you. And I think as we're starting to clear that up now, I'm actually feeling more motivated that we're kind of as a team getting on top of our financials. So I think it's an important thing for couples to address. Don't you think?
Yeah, 100%.
I think there should be some transparency. There should be some support.
Yeah, especially if you're living together.
Yeah, your lives are affected.
If you move in together, you should be so open about your financials, regardless whether you've been together years or if it's been 3 months and you move in together.
Yeah.
You need, like, at that point, you are like, you're a team.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily meaning they have to give you their money, but you should be open. Like, do you have loans? Like, are you earning this much money? Where is it going?
Yeah. I totally agree. And so we're going to wrap it up, guys. We're getting towards the end of the podcast episode today. But do you think, there's 2 more questions I want to quickly touch on. The first one is, do you think a divorce has given you a better perspective on life, on life and who you want as a life partner? Do you think you're a better partner having gone through divorce? So there's a lot of people out there who've probably been through that area. I do think it's very clear of what I would expect from a serious relationship now. I know exactly what I don't want. Do I think I'm better? Yes, because I can kind of look back and I'm somebody that had tried to keep a very open look on that and kind of say, well, there's probably areas I could improve, and I'm trying to bring them to the table in my new relationship and this relationship with Vix. And so I do think you can become better and you can understand better. So I do think for those who can relate to having gone through a divorce, I don't think it means you're at the end of the line. I think you can really flourish in your next relationship probably more than ever. And I think sometimes people have to go through that one to know also how valuable somebody is that they really care about. I think it's like, think about your first girlfriend. Oh, I loved her. So, nothing else in the world mattered. She was the one for life. I was 17 and I loved her so much. Sure, we're mates now probably. I don't know. But you didn't know what love really was. So I felt like sometimes when you went into that marriage for somebody who was divorced, maybe you didn't really know what that was at the time. And unfortunately, if it didn't go the way you like, when you come out, you have a whole new perspective. And I think that definitely adds a lot of value to the relationship moving forward. I won't ask Vix that question because Vic's never been through a divorce, which is great.
No.
And you won't be going through one.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. We're joined at the hips. The last question, we need to wrap it up because we are reaching the time for today. But intimacy issues, one word, how do you deal with it?
One word?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to say effort. Put in effort.
I was thinking that. Okay, communication.
Effort, communication, guys. That's how you deal with intimacy issues. Communicate that there's issues, there's problems. Put in some effort.
Yeah.
Intimacy. We go back to that topic of being attracted and creating some not sexual attraction always, but just physical attraction, mental attraction.
Or love language.
Languages.
I'd take it back. Love language? Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a few there, guys. We have reached the end of today's episode. Vix, anything you'd like to add?
No.
No? Loki's adding a few little final words.
He's trying to hurry us up. He's hungry.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. It's a little bit of a different one. I think it was a really nice, casual chat. You're a natural on here, even though you don't think it. I hope you guys could take away a few perspectives that we have as a relationship. Maybe you can apply them to your own. We will do some more like this, just some general chats. I think it was actually a good one. So if there's anything you guys would like to hear, please comment below. Let us know. Please ensure that you subscribe, follow, like, and share. Obviously, I'm always very grateful for the feedback on the Lifestyle Hub podcast. Vic being the official producer, Isa, our official director. So it's all happening. We've got the whole crew in the house. Thank you again for all being a supportive audience. I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Vic?
I'll catch you later.
We'll catch you later.